Hello, and good morning. Happy Tuesday. So, y'all, I just got a rant about this one. Most of you probably know that I am a sex therapist and intuitive coach, and I specialize in women's sexuality. Um, that's really my main area of interest. And so, I'm always reading and researching, and I'm in different professional groups and message boards and forums. And it seems like I'm always coming across some newfangled pill, potion, or product about increasing women's sexual desire. And I just came across one yesterday that literally was like, it's I don't actually even know because, when you go to these websites, they don't ever actually really tell you what the fuck the thing is or how it works. It's all like these fancy medical, anyway. It's hard. You have to actually dig to see, like, okay, is this a pill? Is it a shot? Like, what the fuck is it? Anyway, I came across one yesterday, and these all things are like backed by medical companies are producing these things because, well, that's maybe a conversation for in a minute. Like female sexual pleasure, it's like the wild wild west. And so a lot of the medical establishment, like this is like, they're founded on making you feel like there's something wrong with your body and like you're not enough. Okay, so I found this one yesterday, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's some kind of a treatment that uses sonic waves on the clitoris in order to make you have more orgasms and develop sensitivity. And it claims that it makes women want sex more and have more desire and enjoy sex more. And in all of these things, too. You can go get a shot in your clitoris. You can take, there's like pills and stuff that you can take, like the female Viagra, that it's supposed to make you want sex more, make you enjoy sex more. But really, all these things are doing is increasing blood flow to the genitals and increasing blood flow, in this case, this one I saw yesterday, specifically to the clitoris. And, here's my rant on this, y'all. Like, all right, there's a lot here. Okay, but first of all, female sexual pleasure, it's about more than the clitoris, number one. Okay, yeah, the clitoris is a big part of it, but we've got way more going on down there than just the clitoris. Okay, number one. Number two, female sexual pleasure and arousal, it is based on a lot more than just blood flow to your clitoris. Okay, and really, honestly, a lot of these things that are out there, they're found to not be very effective. Partly because as women, like we're actually wired differently. Blood flow to the genitals tends to work pretty decently for men, right? Like we have Viagra, and if you get more blood flow into the penis, it helps with erections. It tends to kind of do the trick, for a lot of guys. The same just isn't true for women. And my other rant about this is that we have to look at, again, I did a post yesterday about like, what are you plugging into? Okay, so a lot of us are plugging into this idea, the medical establishment, and this idea that there's just going to be a pill or a shot or a vaccine or something that's going to save us from ourselves, or that's going to just make this problem that seems really complicated in the case of female sexual pleasure and arousal and desire and orgasm, it's just going to make it simple. Like, I don't really want to have to do the work. I don't have time for that. So just like give me a shot, or, like put some sonic waves in my vagina, and then I'm going to just want sex. And I'm going to have more orgasms. And the idea that more orgasms equal more fulfilling sex. You know what? I'll tell you firsthand that that's not true. My whole story, I didn't have any problem with orgasms, multiple orgasms. That was great. The thing that was missing, and I think this is what's true for many women, the thing that was really missing for me was really like the love piece. Like, the physical aspect of sex is one thing, but I think what's missing for so many of us, particularly as women, is that deeper sense of love and like being able to really feel in love and experience ourselves as love through sex with our partners. And when we don't know how to find that, we feel really lost and we feel like something's missing. Um, and or we start to feel like we need to pump ourselves up with shots and all kinds of other things that don't work because somehow we feel like we're deficient and we're not enough. So the medical establishment is entirely built on this idea of making you feel like something's wrong with you. Okay, it's grounded on and informed by the negative patriarchal view that just that you're broken, all right? And they make millions and millions of dollars off of this, all right? They're convincing you and you're buying into it, or a lot of women are buying into it, that there's something wrong with their bodies. And if only they were to get this injection into their clitoris, then they would like sex more, and then the world would be better, okay? It's also this negative patriarchal foundation that the medical community is founded on. It's really founded on the masculine perspective of what works for men and men's sexuality, okay? I promise you that if women were really having more of a voice in how some of these products were really being created and what's really going on in women's sexuality, what would be happening is we'd be focusing more on how do we have more love? How do we cultivate more connection? The whole conversation I think would be very, very different. And it would also be coming from a place of inherent wholeness. Okay, so I just really want to tell you right now, like if you struggle with any sexual arousal or desire or challenges with orgasm, you are not broken. Okay, so much of really finding the answer is about learning how you're wired, how your arousal is wired. For women, it's highly contextual. It's dependent on things going on in our relationship and our environment, how we feel about ourselves that day, how we're relating to our own bodies, and even our belief that, what if I'm not enough? Or if I don't produce an orgasm, my partner's not going to be satisfied. That's a conversation for another post. Maybe I'll do that one later this week. But fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with you or your body, even if you're having challenges with desire or arousal or orgasm. It's really a pathway of actually learning more about your own body, your own sexuality, how you as a unique and beautiful individual are actually wired. And, there's good news and bad news to this. The good news is that the power is in your hands. The good news also is that this is what I help women with specifically. So I can help you with this. I can show you how to get there. The bad news is that it's not as easy as just injecting your vagina with a bunch of platelet-rich plasma or getting some sonic thing done to your clitoris, okay? But the other piece of good news is that it actually works and it's long-term. And in this way, you become much more empowered in your sexuality. You have more control over your own arousal, over your own desire, and over your own orgasm, and actually ultimately experiencing yourself as the love that you already are. That's really what I believe is women were really looking for that. And we're not going to find that out there in pills and potions and supplements and all these things that just send more blood into our genitals. All right, that's not really what tends to work for most women. So I'm really curious if you or someone you know has ever tried one of these treatments or products out there that sends more blood into the clitoris or promises that you're going to have more fulfilling sex or give you bigger orgasms from having this procedure done. Like if you've tried any of these things or if you know somebody who has, I would love leave a comment and let me know what your experience has been. I would just be super curious just to see. I know personally in my practice, my sex therapy practice, I've worked with women that have had and tried some of these things, and it actually doesn't end up solving the issue. What solves the issue is when they learn about their body, when they learn actually about the energy aspect of sex and arousal, not just the physical piece. What works is when they learn how to use their voice, when they learn how to feel into their body to know what they actually want, and they learn how to navigate that in the relationship. These are the things that actually work. And these are the things that actually empower them, not the shots. And not just oh, yay, I had 30 orgasms. Woohoo, now my relationship is just great and sex is so fulfilling. No, that shit does not, it really is not what creates more satisfying sex. And I think maybe that's what creates more satisfying sex for a lot of men. I don't know. My guess would be that could be the case, which is why we assume that if we just make women have lots more orgasms, that somehow we've solved this problem. But we haven't. So that's my point, is that we haven't. And my other point is that there is another way. And there's another way that's much more empowering. and it's much more satisfying and fulfilling for the long term, where you're not dependent on having to buy into this idea that you're fucked up or that your body's broken. All right. And so that's what I do. That's my specialty. So, if you want some help with that, if you or somebody you know is really struggling in that area, come my way, shoot me a message. I know it's kind of a sensitive topic. Facebook's probably going to totally edit this video anyway. But anyway, that's my rant for Tuesday. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts? All right. Have a beautiful week. Bye.